Good morning. I hereby call to order this 15th meeting of the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission for the year 2022. I welcome everyone who is joining us and watching us live stream, and now ask that you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. As you know, at today's meeting, which is open to the public, the Commission will act on various matters. There's no opportunity for the public to address the Commission at this public meeting. Public meeting motions, statements, and video will be available on the Commission's website later today. So our first matter for this morning's agenda is the approval of the minutes for November 10th, 2022, and I call upon Commissioner Zerfis, who is the editor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have reviewed the minutes of the November 10, 2022 public meeting and move that they be approved as submitted.
You have heard the motion to approve the minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Yonora. Any further edits or anything? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0. The minutes are approved. And without objection here, we will turn it over to our Secretary, Rosemary Chiavetta, who will lead us through this morning's agenda.
Good morning, Madam Chairman. Good morning, Commissioners. Your bureaus and offices have prepared the following agenda items for your consideration. Therefore, let us begin on page 1 with the recommendation of Director Bechtel and the Bureau of Consumer Services that the Commission adopt the proposed order regarding the Universal Service and Energy Conservation Plan for the National Fuel Gas Distribution Corporation.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Vice Chairman DeFrank, second by Commissioner Coleman. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
Turning to page 2, it is recommended by Executive Director Mendelson that the Commission adopt the proposed order in recommending Thomas R. Clark, Andrew L. Strassner, Eric D. Finnemore, and James T. Dacey to the Damage Prevention Committee for a 3-year term beginning on January 1, 2023.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Coleman, second by Commissioner Zerfis. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
Turning to page 3 and matters presented by Director Sophie and the Office of Special Assistants, it should be noted that the first item on page 3 has been postponed to the public meeting of January 12th, 2023. And continuing on page 3, it is recommended that the Commission adopt in an omnibus motion the remaining item on page 3, the formal complaint of Regina Guyton versus the Philadelphia Gas Works, and continuing the omnibus to include both items on page 4 and ending the omnibus with the single item on page 5, the petition for emergency relief filed by John Marchetti versus the Pico Energy Company.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendations?
So moved.
All right, who's going to break? Motion by Vice Chairman DeFrank, second by Commissioner Yonora. See, I just let them duke it out. I didn't say a word, right? Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
Turning to page 6, and matters presented by Director Diskin and the Bureau of Technical Utility Services, it is recommended in an omnibus motion that the Commission adopt the first item on page 6, the petition of Metropolitan Edison and the Pennsylvania Electric Companies for approval to the Sustainable Energy Fund Advisory Board, and pausing to note that the second item on page 6, the application of Mobility Management, LLC, has been postponed to the public meeting of January 12, 2023. And continuing the omnibus motion to include both items on page 7, ending the omnibus with the tentative order canceling the licenses of certain electric generation suppliers.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendations?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Zerfis, second by Commissioner Coleman. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
Turning to page 8, it is recommended that the Commission adopt the proposed opinion and order in the petition of the Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority regarding its damaged wastewater sewer lateral program.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Yunora, second by Vice Chairman DeFrank. Any discussion?
Madam Chair?
Commissioner Zerfis.
Madam Chair, I have a motion.
Yes.
Madam Chair and Madam Secretary, I have a motion, and I will read it as if I read it in its entirety. Please add it to the public record, but for everyone's purposes here, I will give a brief description, not read the whole thing. But before the Commission for consideration and disposition is the petition of the Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority Wastewater Division for approval of its damaged wastewater sewer lateral program and tariff supplement. The Commission should deny PWSA's petition without prejudice and should not permit the tariff supplement to take effect. PWSA's petition does not meet the requirements of the Commission regulations because the purpose of the program is not specifically linked to its efforts to address excessive inflow and infiltration or the design of construction conditions causing wastewater overflows. In addition, the petition and tariff supplement failed to fully provide information as required by the Commission. As such, the petition does not conform to the regulations adopted by the Commission for the implementation of Act 120 of 2018. So therefore, I move that the Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority's petition is denied but without prejudice. PWSA's tariff supplement shall not be permitted to become effective, and that the Bureau of Technical Utility Services prepare an opinion and order consistent with this motion. Thank you.
You have heard the motion of Commissioner Zerfis. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Chairman DeFrank. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0. On the matter as amended, is there any objection to the previous roll call? Seeing no objection to the previous roll call, the matter passes as amended 5-0.
Continuing at the bottom of page 8, it is recommended that the Commission adopt the omnibus motion, in an omnibus motion, the remaining item on page 8, the application of Frontline Power Solutions LLC, and continue the omnibus to include both items on page 9 and ending the omnibus at the top of page 10 with the petition of the National Fuel Gas Distribution Corporation for approval of its long-term infrastructure improvement plan.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendations?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Zerfis, second by Commissioner Coleman. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
Continuing at the bottom of page 10, it is recommended that the Commission adopt the proposed opinion and order in the petition filed by PPL Electric Utilities for approval of its long-term infrastructure improvement plan.
Is there a motion to adopt staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Vice Chairman DeFrank, second by Commissioner Yunora. Any discussion?
Madam Chairman, I have a statement.
Vice Chairman?
Thank you. I ask that my statement be placed on the record as if I read it in its entirety. Before the Commission for consideration is the petition of PPL for approval of its third long-term infrastructure improvement plan, or LTIP. The plan covers a 5-year period from January 1st, 2023 to December 31st, 2027. As a new commissioner, I intend to focus on the rebuilding of aging utility distribution infrastructure, as well as the maintenance and improvement of the electric service reliability. Since the approval of PPL's first long-term infrastructure improvement plan in January of 2013, PPL has been able to increase capital investment through the distribution system improvement charge to address aging infrastructure in its system. As a result of these investments, PPL reversed the previous trend of increasing equipment failures. The reduction of the number of equipment failures experienced on PPL's electric distribution system should positively impact reliability performance. While continued capital investment is necessary to maintain or improve PPL's downward trend in equipment failure, PPL's third LTIP demonstrates that the intended purposes of the LTIP and DISC are being realized. The timely recovery of reasonable and prudent costs associated with the repair and replacement of PPL's aging infrastructure has contributed to the health of PPL's distribution system. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. Any further comments or discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
Turning to page 11, it is recommended that the Commission adopt in an omnibus motion the first item on page 11, the tariff supplement filed by the National Fuel Gas Distribution Corporation, and pausing to note that the second item on page 11, the application of Zito Media Voice LLC, has been postponed to the public meeting of January 12, 2023, and continuing the omnibus to include both items on page 12, ending the omnibus with the application of Columbia Gas of Pennsylvania.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendations?
So moved.
I heard two voices.
I will second.
Motion by Commissioner, I'm finally getting this right. I'm just going to let you guys duke it out. Motion by Commissioner Yanora, second by Commissioner Zerfus. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
Turning to page 13, it is recommended that the Commission adopt the proposed order in the tariff supplement proposed by the Philadelphia Gas Works.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Coleman, second by Vice Chairman DeFrank. Any discussion?
Madam Chairman, I have a motion on the matter.
Vice Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Madam Secretary, I ask that my motion be placed on the record as if I read it in its entirety. On November 1st, 2022, PGW filed tariff supplement number 156. The filing proposes to modify the date by which PGW's rate, GTSF, will terminate by temporarily extending the termination date until a decision is issued by the Commission in the complaint proceedings between PGW and its customer, Grays Ferry Cogeneration Partnership, or until April 23rd, 2023, whichever occurs sooner. On November 11th, 2022, formal complaints to the tariff were filed by Grays Ferry Cogeneration Partnership and Vicinity Energy Philadelphia Incorporated. PGW's rate GTSF is set to expire on December 31st, 2022. PGW and Grays Ferry have been in active litigation before the Commission disputing the appropriate rate to be charged by PGW prospectively. This is the main crux of the complaint proceeding. PGW avers that in all reasonable likelihood, the rate GTSF will expire before the Commission has an opportunity to determine the appropriate rate that will apply prospectively. Therefore, PGW filed the tariff to extend the termination date. This tariff proceeding and the complaint proceeding represent unique dockets with similar issues. Given these circumstances, and pursuant to 1308B and 1310A of the Public Utility Code, I believe it is prudent and in the public interest for this Commission to temporarily approve Supplement Number 156, commence investigation of Supplement 156, and assign this instant docket to the Office of Administrative Law Judge. This temporary approval is wholly intended to provide additional time for PGW and Grays Ferry to litigate the two pending related proceedings to a conclusion while maintaining the existing tariff rules and rates. Further, this temporary approval was made without prejudice to any of the disputed matters and positions at this instant docket or to any disputed matters and positions of the parties at the corresponding complaint proceeding. Therefore, I move that PGW Supplement Number 156 is temporarily approved, that the tariff revisions submitted by PGW shall be permitted to go into effect as filed and remain in effect until April 23rd, 2023, or until a decision is issued by the Commission in the formal complaint filed by Grace Ferry, subject to refund as appropriate. That an investigation on Commission motion be and hereby is instituted to determine the lawfulness, justness, and reasonableness of the rates, rules, and regulations in Philadelphia Gas Works Supplement Number 156. That the case be assigned to the Office of Administrative Law Judge for alternative dispute resolution, if possible, and for the prompt scheduling of such hearings as may be necessary, culminating in the issuance of a recommended decision with 90 days of the issuance of an order consistent with this motion. That the Bureau of Technical Utility Services draft an opinion and order consistent with this motion. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
You have heard the motion of Vice Chairman DeFrank. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Coleman. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0. On the matter as amended, is there any objection to taking the previous roll call? Seeing no objection, the matter as amended passes 5-0.
Continuing at the bottom of page 13, it is recommended that the Commission adopt in an omnibus motion the remaining item on page 13, the annual 2023 price change opportunity filing by Verizon North LLC, and continuing the omnibus to include both items on page 14 and both items on page 15, ending the omnibus with the security certificate filing made by the Pennsylvania American Water Company.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendations?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Yonora, second by Vice Chairman DeFrank. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
Turning to page 16, it is recommended by Chief Counsel Hicks and the Law Bureau that the Commission adopt the proposed order in the petition filed by PennDOT.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Coleman, second by Commissioner Zerfus. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
Madam Chairman, that concludes the regular agenda. Turning now to the supplemental carry-in agenda. This morning, my office received an application for emergency temporary authority that must be acted upon at this public meeting. Madam Chairman and Commissioners, it is recommended by the Law Bureau that the Commission ratify the Chairman's grant of emergency temporary authority to Mr. S. Claus to provide property transportation service between points within the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania on the limited date of December 24th, 2022.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Is there a motion to ratify the signing of the emergency petition?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Vice Chairman DeFrank, second by Commissioner Coleman. I do want to put comments on the record and just give a little insight in terms of this emergency declaration that I did sign. In this petition, it was filed by Mr. Claus. I think everyone knows who he is, right? In this petition, he was seeking authority to provide property transportation service between points in Pennsylvania on a limited date, and that date would be December 24th. He indicates that at the North Pole, he and various members or workers, his elves, make and assemble thousands and thousands of Christmas gifts for children. Mr. Claus then transports these gifts from the North Pole to children all over the world, including children here in Pennsylvania. The transportation occurs annually on the evening and night of December 24th. Mr. Claus provides this service utilizing a sleigh and numerous reindeer. The reindeer team under the vigilant guidance of the leader reindeer, Rudolph. Mr. Claus indicates that his reindeer team has an impeccable historical safety record. Furthermore, Mr. Claus points to his team's unblemished on-time delivery record. Additionally, Mr. Claus cites to a prior orders of this commission granting similar applications, resulting in countless children expressing the awe and joy of Christmas and the holiday season. Mr. Claus provides this service free of charge, with the only compensation being the smiles and happiness occasioned by his goodwill. Under our regulations governing emergency temporary authority, which is found in section 3.383, given the obvious need and import for Mr. Claus's proposed service, I was reluctant not to address this application using the traditional parameters established by our regulations. Suffice it to say that it is beyond argument that the proposed service addresses an emergency situation. Definitely an emergency. Would you like to see if Christmas didn't come? Indeed, this transport is one of the greatest consequences, as evidenced by the boundless joy it engenders. Additionally, any application for authority requires that the Commission examine whether this transportation service will be provided safely. As noted earlier, Mr. Claus and his team's historical safety record speaks for itself. Rudolph, the leader of the reindeer team, is well known to us, and his safety record is flawless, even in the most adverse weather conditions. Suffice it to say, it would be an honor for any carrier to count Rudolph as part of their team. So under these emergency circumstances, I did sign that order, which provided that Mr. Claus would be granted his emergency petition to have transportation services here in Pennsylvania on the evening and night of December 24th. I just wanted to lay that on the record to give my fellow commissioners an understanding of why I felt this was an emergency and sign that order, and I am hopeful that we will ratify this emergency order. Any further discussion?
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Madam Chair, thank you for laying out that additional context. It's important to have. I'm happy to help you approve the application, but I know my 3 children are watching right now. So Sydney, Ethan, and Thea, if you are hearing me, we're going to help Santa Claus deliver presents, so you better behave for Dad today. Thank you.
Any further discussion? I do also want to point for the record, in case you thought there might be any type of protest, there were 2 protests that were later withdrawn. We had a protest from a Mr. Grinch and a Mr. Scrooge. But once it was all laid out in terms of the importance of it, they withdrew their protest. So, all those in favor of ratifying this emergency application, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0. Christmas is saved here in Pennsylvania.
Madam Chairman, that concludes all agenda items to be considered today and for the year of 2022. Happy holidays to all.
Thank you very much. Before we do end our year here in Pennsylvania and our public meeting, there are a couple items that we do want to acknowledge. And these are always the tough ones, but we want to make sure that there's proper recognition of those that have been on our staff and will be either retiring or moving on. The first one, I want to acknowledge that the commissioners did receive the resignation and accepted the resignation of our executive director, Seth Mendelson, who will be moving on, and his last day here at the commission will be January 6, 2023. And we just want to thank Seth for his leadership in the 3.5 years, I believe, that he's been here. He's gone through, as we have all gone through, challenging times, especially during the pandemic, and we just want to thank him and wish him well. I don't know if there's any other commissioners that...
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Yes, Seth, I wish you all the best. It was very short, our time here together, but I quickly realized and saw what you brought to the agency here, and thank you for that. I wish we could have worked together a little longer, but I wish you all the best in all your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you. We also want to acknowledge retirements. We have 3 retirements that we want to acknowledge here from the commission, and several of the commissioners are going to acknowledge them. They are not here in person, will be receiving their retirement gift from us later, but we wanted to make sure we acknowledge those individuals. So I'm going to turn to Commissioner Coleman first.
Well, thank you, Chairman. As you've indicated, it is a bittersweet moment when we recognize those team members who have had a extraordinary career here with the Commission, and in the case of the individual I'll be presenting today, more than 3.5 decades worth of time with the Commonwealth, 30 years here with this Commission. So it's my privilege and honor to acknowledge the retirement of John Herzog. John serves as our Executive Deputy Chief Counsel on the Law Bureau, and as I've indicated, he has 35 years of public service with the Commonwealth, 30 of it here with this Commission. John began his career in government service with the Department of Labor and Industry, where he specialized in labor negotiations and issues surrounding work stoppages. While at Labor and Industry, John gathered extensive experience in the Commonwealth Court and Supreme Court and became well-grounded in administrative law. In 1992, John came to the Commission working in the Law Bureau as the Assistant Counsel. John originally specialized in transportation matters and helped the Commission navigate through fast-changing regulatory landscape that industry experienced, starting in 1994 with the partial deregulation of the property carry industry and culminating recently in the Commission's elimination of barriers to entry for all carriers. John progressed during his time at the Commission to his current position of Executive Deputy Chief Counsel. During his tenure with the Commission, John branched out into many areas, including fiscal and budget matters, right to know, Act 13 impact fee, bankruptcy, and other areas of interest. John represented the Commission in court many times. He had great success in court and treated each case he was working on as the most important case that he had. He always tried to present the case in the simplest terms and weave the law into the fabric of common sense. John also represented the Commission in many legislative initiatives. John enjoyed working with coworkers in all bureaus, building a sense of team among those bureaus and the Law Bureau. He provided valuable counsel to the Commission. Additionally, John enjoyed working with younger attorneys and helping them with their careers. Seeing those attorneys grow their profession gave John great satisfaction. In retirement, John plans to continue to be actively engaged in things of interest to him and always moving forward. Thank you, Chairman. And congratulations to John Herzog.
Next, next I'm going to call upon Commissioner Zerfus.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for the opportunity to recognize the departure of one of our longtime members of the PUC family. George Durow has been employed with the Commission since 1988 and worked for 35 years in the PUC Bureau of Audits. He started his career as an engineer trainee and served in multiple roles within the Audit Bureau before rising to his current position as audit supervisor. He began working in the Harrisburg office at the Commission, but eventually returned to his hometown of Pittsburgh, working from the Harmarville office. George has a storied career entailing many special projects, most notably the Commission's Electric Reliability Working Group. As with any project that he worked on, George was a major contributor in the effort to establish new post-electric deregulation reliability standards. George has never been content to rest on his laurels, and even went so far as to earn another degree in human resources so he could better understand utility operations. His bureau director noted that George has always been committed to finding the truth of the matter and was not shy about making his voice heard in any debate. Regardless of the topic, George never lost sight of his service to the citizens and business community of Pennsylvania. As a supervisor, George cares deeply for his staff and has taken an interest in developing each employee. He has been instrumental in training the management audit staff, mentoring his direct reports, and providing support to countless Commission employees over his career. On a personal note, George is a beer connoisseur, my kind of guy, and also a talented saxophone player. He often performs with the street-level band in the greater Pittsburgh area. His love of Pittsburgh sports is unquestioned, maybe not so much the Pirates anymore, but His love for hockey undoubtedly inspires him to suit up occasionally in pond hockey pickup games to emulate his favorite Pittsburgh Penguins star players. As he prepares to ride into the sunset, his contributions, camaraderie, and his quips like, "It depends," or "What happens in Pittsburgh stays in Pittsburgh," will forever be remembered. We all wish him well in his future endeavors in retirement. Thank you.
And finally, I want to call upon Commissioner Yonora.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to acknowledge the retirement of Teresa Mingarella, a policy analyst in Bureau of Consumer Services. Teresa spent 20-plus years working in real estate sales, municipal zoning, human resources, volunteer management, and senior housing and crime prevention. She was 43 years old when she began her career with the Commonwealth Services. In 2002, as an income maintenance caseworker at DHS in Northampton County. She relocated to Harrisburg in 2008 when she was promoted to the position of Human Services Program Specialist with DHS Bureau of Employment and Training Programs. She began working for the PUC as an Electric, Gas, and Water Consumer Service Policy Analyst 1 in BCS in 2013. And she was promoted to her current position as Telecommunication Consumer Service Policy Analyst 2 in 2015. During her time at BCS, Teresa applied her detailed research skills and thoughtful investigations to all her projects, especially assisting in the telephone matters, such as reviewing petitions with reliable telecommunication carrier designations, reviewing Lifeline market materials for compliance, Chapter 63 and 64 rulemaking, participating in the poll attachment working group, and as an agency representative within the TUS Emergency Preparedness Group. Retirement will not last long for Teresa, because she will begin training the following week for an IRS certification to volunteer as tax preparer for the AARP. Among other things, Teresa will have time to routinely go to the local Y, become more involved with her local Italian group, continue to teach her granddaughter to make pasta and meatballs. I could help with that if she needs the help. Maintain her garden, including her potted olive trees, Olivia and Stella, ride bike, play drums, paint baby portraits. Travel is a given. She will also explore driver and bike rider, road sharing safety issues, reading literacy, and digital literacy volunteer opportunities. Teresa, thank you for your 20 years of dedication to the Commonwealth. We wish you best of luck in your retirement from the state services. Thank you.
Our best to all of our retirees. So as we conclude our final meeting here in 2022, we would like to take a few moments to recount some of the many accomplishments of this great agency in the past year. On March 31st, we marked the 85th anniversary of the establishment of the Public Utility Commission as an independent administrative commission. For more than 8 decades, the PUC has faithfully carried out our mission of balancing the needs of consumers and utilities. Despite the challenges and the lingering effects posed by a global pandemic, the Commission achieved many important successes this past year. It's important to note that the PUC successfully conducted every PUC public meeting that was scheduled for this year, returning to in-person and live stream meetings in April. The Commission also returned to hybrid in-person and virtual meetings of the Damage Prevention Committee and the Consumer Advisory Council. The PUC staff continued to assist consumers throughout our remote consumer service hotline, and thanks to the fiscal transactions and the e-filings of documents with the Commission, the PUC continued functioning at normal levels. The Commission achieved many important successes in 2022. The Secretary's Bureau received approximately 26,000 filings submitted in this year and served approximately 10,000 documents. The Commission received and answered more than 140 right-to-know requests in this year alone. More than 6 million pages of historical records are now available online. The PUC's Office of Administrative Law Judge presided over a mix of telephonic and in-person hearings, a total of 525 evidentiary hearings and 24 public input hearings. In addition, our mediators resolved 172 cases through our mediation processes, and our presiding officers rendered 236 written decisions. In 2022, the Law Bureau regularly represented the Commission in an average of 62 open state and federal court appeals, administrative proceedings, and matters involving affirmative litigation. 90% of the 30 proceedings that concluded with decisions resulted in the court affirming the Commission's opinions or other positive outcomes in support of the Commission's position. Throughout the year, the Commission has continued to vigorously promote our Call Utilities Now initiative, working to connect struggling consumers with utility assistance programs. The pressures of rising energy prices, inflation, and the ongoing state and national recovery continue to impact our communities. It is important that we work collectively to help keep residents and businesses connected to vital services. Our PUC consumer education team planned this heating season's Be Wise and Be Utility Wise conferences for human service professionals, which reached more than 400 participants through a hybrid in-person and virtual approach. The Commission staff participated in several emergency preparedness exercises and activities with our colleagues at PEMA and other agencies and utility stakeholders such as the PJM Grid Security Exercise and the Commonwealth's Hazardous Mitigation Plan update, as well as collaboration with DEP's Energy Security Plan for Pennsylvania. Additionally, our Office of Cybersecurity and Compliance Oversight updated the cybersecurity best practices for small and medium Pennsylvania utilities, which I constantly give to our other state commissions around the country. In updating this compliance of best practices for small and medium Pennsylvania utilities, we also held a cybersecurity symposium and issued an advance notice of proposed rulemaking. The PUC's Safety Division conducted more than 3,000 electric and pipeline safety field inspections. 30 electric and pipeline incident investigations were handled by these divisions. Also this year, more than 400 underground facility owners, excavators, and project owners were directed to attend Act 50 training, while the Damage Prevention Committee also approved 1,774 violations over 495 cases during this year's 11 DPC meetings. Our Motor Carrier Enforcement Division conducted 77 focus reviews on carriers, completed more than 2,200 federal new entrant safety audits, and more than 4,000 roadside inspections of commercial motor vehicles. Our Rates and Technical divisions remained busy this year, participating in 12 base rate cases with a total requested increase value of more than $471 million, 5 Section 1329 acquisitions, and 7 Section 1307F annual purchase gas cost filings. Our audits team released 33 reports covering 83 years of adjustment clauses and reviewed and approved approximately 381 adjustment clause filings. Management audit staff released 4 management audits, 2 management efficiency investigations, and the 516 annual report for calendar year 2022. Through educational outreach, we encourage Pennsylvanians to stay connected through the Affordable Connectivity Program, a benefit that was started by the Federal Communications Commission. Our Office of Special Assistance produced 531 documents, including 205 orders, 216 orders or public meeting documents, 99 advisory or administrative documents, and 11 documents addressing commissioner inquiries or collaborations with other bureaus. The PUC distributed $234 million this year through impact fees on natural gas producers, pushing the 10-year total to more than $2.2 billion collected and distributed to communities across this Commonwealth. Additionally, more than 72% of our utilities access the PUC's assessment portal online to report annual revenues. Our Office of Competitive Market Oversight, or OCMO, continue to monitor the developments within the wholesale energy markets and our efforts to help consumers deal with affordability concerns. This included convening a charge meeting on November 1st of suppliers, utilities, and advocates to review current market conditions and concerns. We currently have 464 electric generation suppliers in Pennsylvania, 33 natural gas suppliers licensed with this commission. Our Bureau of Consumer Services answered more than 115,000 calls, investigated and issued more than 60,000 informal complaints, decisions, achieving an average case turnaround time of 22 days. We also implemented technologies to enhance customer service through the PUC's new Artificially Intelligent Virtual Agent, or AVA, providing 24/7 bilingual assistance to web visitors and callers. It also was a busy year for our Legislative Affairs Office, who participated in Senate confirmation of 3 nominees to the commission, held nominee orientation briefings, and arranged individual meetings with all 50 senators for each of the 3 nominees, concluding in us having a full bench of commissioners. With the year it's been, as we recognized our 85th anniversary, it has been a great year. On behalf of my fellow commissioners, I thank all PUC staff for their work, their dedication, and their professionalism. It takes dedication and hard work from all of you, and we are looking forward to what we can accomplish in the year to come. We also extend our heartfelt gratification to our sister state agencies, consumer advocates, including our small business advocate, industry stakeholders, and regulated utilities that we work a lot alongside with throughout this year. We wish you and yours a safe and joyous holiday and new year, and we look forward to working with you and seeing you in 2023. Once again, we just want to thank all of our staff for all the hard work that they have done this year. As you can see, the accomplishments that we've read to you, we have a great team here at the Commission, so thank you very much. And with that, we have finished the year 2022, and I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Vice Chairman DeFrank, second by Commissioner Yonora. I'm sure there's no discussion, but I'll throw it out. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0. We are adjourned, everyone.